Hello, marry me. So let me just adjust the camera a little bit. And this is going to be a 101 video about dowsing rods. More specifically, L rods. Now, that's L rods, not ailerons. Anyway, when you search for dowsing rods, these are the ones that are most likely to show up. There are many other kinds of dowsing rods like bobbers, the U rod, the I rod, which is basically the water dowsing rod, basically a stick that is E formed that you hold in the two ends and it bends up and down. But the most common dowsing tool, at least for at least in modern years, other than the pendulum, is these L rods. Now, what are these? They are, as the name would suggest, L-shaped rods, and you hold them like this, one in each hand, douse with them. So, yes, these can give about the same kind of results and answers as a pendulum can. I'm sorry for adjusting the camera so much. Yeah. And basically, what you do when you get these, you you should cleanse them, and if you wish, consecrate them, and then you can start working with them. And you hold them like this in your hands, and you ask them, "Can I have a yes? Can I have a yes? Can I have a yes? Can I have a yes?" And you should see, for me, yes means that they open up. This varies a lot from person to person. Some can have yes be that they go in, others can have yes be they go out, some can have yes be they go to one side or another. Therefore, you should ask because the answer will vary. I can ask, "Can I have a no? Can I have a no? Can I have a no?" And you don't have to ask it, speak it, you can just think it. I also generally get a maybe out of this. Can I have a maybe? Can I have a maybe? And then they go to the side. Not everybody has a maybe. Some only have yes or no on these rods. So, of course, you can use them just as you would a pendulum for yes and no answers. So, let's just take some we already know here. Am I a girl? Am I a boy? Do I live in Norway? Do I live in Norway? Do I live in Spain? Thank you. And you should always remember when using dowsing tools to time them up to use. Now, like with the pendulum, it can take some time to get them working for you, getting them to actually uh, respond. And you shouldn't give up. You should just keep practicing with them for some time. Seems like I can't get the camera in a comfortable position today. Anyway, other things that you can use this for, other than yes or no answers, is, for example, to look for water. A good way to train for this is to either go to where there are a river, that's the best, or you put out a bowl of water and you walk and see if you can get a response. Now, these L rods is much easier to walk with than a pendulum. But the pendulum will bob a lot when you walk. These won't bob that much. And usually when you then get a response, they will then go out to the side or into the middle, depending. Another common way to use these is to look for the aura, because our energy bodies are a lot bigger than our physical bodies. So and the size of the aura has a lot to say about the general health and well-being of the person in question. So you can have a look at that to see how big someone's aura is. You can also use it to find items. You can use it to find spiritual entities that follow a person, for example, their guides and helpers, and so on and so forth. You can use it to see if you can find negative energy, basically anything that you can walk around with, and then see if you can get a response. Now, when you walk with these, you should walk fairly slowly, giving the sticks time to respond when you get over whatever you're looking for. And like with any kind of dosing, you have to be very concrete in your question. If you are looking for your missing gold wedding band, you say, I want to find my gold wedding band. Find my gold wedding band. You have to be very concrete, or it will just not work. So, yes, one thing you should keep in mind when buying these emeralds is that you generally have two variants. You have these that you can see here. Let me get a close-up of it. It has this metal tubing that means that you can grip it as hard as you will. This will still swing free. Another version is something like this, that does not have the metal tubing. Now when using this, let me see if I can, I think I have to move the camera again to get that working without impaling my computer. They are a little bit more difficult to get to work because you have to then hold it and you have to hold them loose enough that they can still respond, but not so loosely that they will respond to anything. So let's try. Can I have a yes? Can I have a yes? I have to adjust my grip. Yes, 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 yes. Can I have a no? Thank you. So these are harder to use. I don't use these very much. I use them sometimes when I'm walking outside because they are big and heavy and such are less likely to give false positives. I do recommend the ones with the tubing for beginners. So yes, emeralds you can find them in about any type of New Age, occult, and so on store, and in psychic fairs and the like. They can also quite easily be made. If you, for example, have an old wire coat hanger, you can take that hanger and you cut basically the flat part, the hanger part, and that will be the handles, and you cut it up near the top of it on both sides. Then you use a straw or something like the one you drink from to make the tubing, and you just use a set of tongues to get this shape. If anyone is interested, I can do a tutorial for how to make these. So yes, generally you use them just as you would a pendulum. You ask it questions, and the movements of the rods will determine the answer. But they are generally better when you have to move around. A pendulum is best when you can sit fairly still, so that it's easier to see what is actually a pendulum movement and what is just movements of your body. So yes, these are very easy to use, and I do recommend them if you do ghost hunting, if you do aura work, and so on and so forth. Not everyone. It's far harder to learn to see the aura with your eyes or feel it with your hands than it is to learn to detect it with dowsing rods. And when you first have learned how to use it with dowsing rods, it's usually then easier to develop other ways to detect it. So yes, to just sum up this 101, basically when you get it, you should cleanse it. You should do that with any occult tool, and really you should do it with anything you bring into your house because you don't know what other people have touched. And then you start to train with it. And at first it will get very sluggish results. And you ask it what a yes is, and you ask it what a no is, and you ask it if you can get a maybe, but not everybody can get that. And you train with this regularly. You can also train with it with asking questions you already know the answer to, just to get that going. But again, just like with a pendulum, when you ask real questions that you are trying to dowse for, you should try to preoccupy your mind with other things than the question and the hoped result. So one book on dowsing I read said that when you ask the questions, you should just think, I wonder what the answer will be, I wonder what the answer will be, I wonder what the answer will be, I wonder what the answer will be. Just keep that going in your mind to prevent basically you just messing up the result by giving yourself the result you want, because that's quite easy. When working with a pendulum, you can do basically the same thing. Usually then you just ask for whatever you want to find. And you just walk slowly with the rods ready, and you see when they start to get out. So, like, let me see if I can demonstrate this. Could you please give me a reaction when I reach the U button? Thank you. As you see, the dowsing rods then react a little bit the closer you get to what you're looking for, and you might have to walk around for a while just to find the right spot, because it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and then you lose the signal, and then you have to walk around until you find the right spot. So yeah, they are very useful occult tools, and they are fairly cheap to buy and very easy to make. So yes, and these are, like I said, L rods. Dowsing rods and or L rods is what you want to search for to find more information. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and blessed be.